Dalvin Cook. The man's name has been passed around more than a bag of chips at this point. Let's be honest. There has been a lot of trades, talks about rumors about him being traded to pretty much all 32 NFL teams. There has been talks about him getting cut from the Minnesota Vikings, most recently before the NFL draft, and most likely will be cut as of June 1st. So now the question is, should Cincinnati trade for Dalvin Cook? Main reason why is because he still has a lot left in his tank. Now, he is 28 years old, which kind of gets to that ballpark range for running backs where they start to kind of dip and fall off hills, right? They kind of, I think for running backs wise, age 30 is the cliff, right? As you get closer and closer to the cliff, you're going to start to fall off. And the problem is, if you go after somebody who, again, is kind of on that side of the, almost at the cliff, then you're going to be wasting your time and energy. Now, the good thing is Cincinnati does have a piece that they could trade for Dalvin Cook, and that is Jonah Williams. Now, you might say there's no way they're going to trade a running back who had 1,000-yard seasons the last 4 years and over 10 touchdowns 2 of those years for Jonah Williams. It's very possible because they're about to cut Dalvin Cook probably on June 1st. And you got to keep that in mind that, they have tried, trust me, they have tried to trade him over the last little bit of time, and nobody wanted to trade him. Nobody wanted the guy, right? So they've tried to get rid of him, and nobody has met the Vikings on a trade offer. Now, Dalvin Cook did play 17 games last season, which was his first time ever playing a full set of games, because before that he played 13, 14, 11, and 4. He never completed the whole entire season other than last season. So that's definitely going to be a big knock on him. Also, his receiving game is not too crazy amazing. He's been pretty decent in the receiving game, but nothing too insane. The big thing about him, and if we look at his Pro Football Focus here, his grades, he's a 72.1 rushing grade, 61.6 receiving grade, and 67.4 overall grade. The big thing about him here is if he does get traded for or signed by the Cincinnati Bengals, he's not going to be put in an offense where he has to do everything. And in Minnesota, he has been that guy who has to do everything. He's been that guy who really, if it's not Dalvin Cook, it was Alexander Madison, and Alexander Madison was a nobody. So it really was Dalvin Cook or nothing in Minnesota. Now, we already heard Zach Taylor came out and talked about how, right now, kind of how Katie Blackburn said it, that Joe Mixon is the starting running back on this roster moving forward. For obvious reasons. I think some people got that confused where they're saying like that, Cincinnati loves him and wants him no matter what, no matter over anybody else. No. What he's saying is pretty much plain and simple. He is the running back on the roster. He is the best running back on the roster. And unless they sign somebody else, he is going to be the future for the Cincinnati Bengals. He will be. And as long as the legal case, court case goes through, he'll be the starting running back. As long as he takes a pay cut, he'll be the starting running back. As long as he survives June 1st, he'll be the starting running back, right? So now the question is, well, why don't we just wait until June 1st, until Dalvin Cook gets cut, and then we sign him there? The problem then is he's going to have to, there's going to be other teams interested in him too, so you're really just going to be bidding against other teams and raising his price tag. Right now, he's on a 3-year contract, making $10 million this year, 11.7 next year, and then 12.9 a year after that. So most likely with a trade for Dalvin Cook here, because he's not getting traded because he wants a new contract, he's getting traded because Minnesota is moving forward in a different direction. You might be able to say, okay, you know what, Dalvin, we're going to trade Jonah Williams in a 5th for Dalvin Cook. And in return, Dalvin, we want you to take a pay cut right when you join our roster. Like, we want you to be that pay cut guy. Once you join the roster, you're going to take a little bit less money per year, and you're going to overall, it's going to work out for you because now you're on a Super Bowl roster. Or what you could say, and this is actually what Cleveland did before with some of their trades, is that you say, listen, Vikings, we know you want to get rid of him, right? Yeah, and you don't want to let him walk for nothing. So we're going to give you Jonah in a 5th, right? You're going to pay 40% of his roster. for the next 3 years. And that all becomes just dead money for the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of teams have done that before with trades. You know, we saw that with the Rams trade when the Steelers traded a 7th round pick to the Rams. Those Steelers aren't paying Allen Robinson's contract. The Rams are. The Rams are going to be paying his contract for the next, 2 or 3 seasons. It's not the Steelers. The Steelers are getting him for almost nothing cap-wise because the Rams are going to be paying for that contract. Same thing could happen here with Dalvin Cook. You could say, hey, Minnesota, because you want to get something and you don't want to lose this guy for nothing, you're going to pay 40% of his roster. We'll save $12.9 million off Jonah Williams' salary cap, and we'll give you a 5th-round pick. You give us Dalvin Cook. Now we have Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, and Chase Brown. Chase Brown is that receiving role / he is that, kind of can do everything role, which actually works out very, very well. You're not getting a washed-up Zeke Elliott here. You're getting a really good bell cow back who can also receive the ball. Kind of like a Joe Mixon 1A, 1B type scenario here. And then you have your other running backs to kind of, fit in there too and get the job done. I'm not against this idea. And I like this a lot better than trading for Clyde Edwards-Helaire because I think this gives you a little bit more options on offense. So, when you're coming out, for example, because I did see some people comment about this, the thing that scares them about the whole Chase Brown draft pick is that when Chase Brown's on the field, it's going to be kind of like, oh, we know since he's passing the ball, guys, don't stack the box, just kind of go out. And that is, to a lot of people, it was scaring a lot of people because it's like, it kind of makes you one-dimensional, right? Because people know Chase Brown's not going to run the football. Well, when you have a complementary pieces, like, for example, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, and Chase Brown, now when you have 2 of those guys in the backfield, so let's say you have, a shotgun-type formation, where one side you have Dalvin, one side you have Chase Brown, you never really know what Cincinnati's going to do. You're always keeping the defense honest and keeping them guessing. So again, like I said, I would not be against this idea. Could you sign him once he becomes a free agent on June 1st? Absolutely. But I feel like you could probably work out a trade right now, get rid of Jonah, get some picks, get a player in Dalvin Cook, and really just still help your salary cap out and save $12.6 million. I wouldn't be against that idea. And who knows, maybe Minnesota lets him play left tackle over there. Maybe he does become right tackle. Maybe he becomes left tackle. And maybe it's a win-win-win. Maybe Jonah goes out there and becomes left tackle for the Vikings. We get a star running back. They get a stud, an extra 5th round pick. And all in return is they pay the salary of Dalvin. We get him for pretty much nothing. I really am, as I'm saying this more, I'm kind of talking myself into this. I'm kind of talking myself into this idea because it does not sound bad for the Bengals in any way possible, other than the argument that, well, we're losing Jonah and we're losing a 5th round pick. But other than that, I think it could be a really good trade in the end for the Bengals. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.